three quick issues that I want to talk about. Recently, you had the 6th Court of Appeals that had ruled a decision in favor of free speech. So during a judicial election, so an election for the judges, it's a nonpartisan race. So that means you can't, or that a declaration of whether you're Republican or Democrat doesn't necessarily matter. Now, the question arises as to, are you allowed to say it? Are you allowed to say, well, even though it's a nonpartisan race, I am a Republican judge, I am a Democratic judge? And yes, the answer is yes. So the 6th Court of Appeals come out. Jeffrey Sutton, S-U-T-T-O-N, says that the Judicial Code of Conduct, there was this big Judicial Code of Conduct that was written, and it essentially was saying that anything that the judges said were going to be held against them. Well, that slaps free speech, right? That is right in the Judicial Code of Conduct slaps the freedom of speech right in its face. And so that's not very good. That's not good. So the 6th District Court of Appeals came out in favor of free speech. So yes, you are allowed to make comments about what political affiliation you are, and you're allowed to speak. You're allowed to give reasons for what kind of representative you will be when you become a judge. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, how can you determine if a person is going to be a good or bad judge if they can't, make any promises or say what kind of judge they will be? And that these campaigns are actually very frustrating because they would just say very generic, very general, I will be non-biased, I will be objective, I will be a fair and impartial judge when I am elected. Well, that doesn't give me any indication whatsoever of what kind of judge you will or will not be. Another really good news, there's going to be free wireless internet. It's up and running in Morehead, downtown Morehead. So the city, in partnership with Ragent Corporation, installed wireless meshing nodes in March to help provide instant internet access to anyone within the network's parameters. So this is great. This is Rowan County, Kentucky, northeastern Kentucky, where Morehead University is at, where the famed Rowan County feuds. There's a bunch of feuds over there. They're feudist. But Morehead University. And so Morehead University now has internet access for everybody in downtown Morehead. You will have to sign up for their service, but I'm going to assume it's probably relatively cheap, maybe $10, a month, which was my experience in Minnesota. So that's good news. Kentucky is getting on, moving into the 21st century. Now, some bad news. Only 41% of Kentucky's 2016 graduates met the ACT math benchmark scores. So that means it's not very good in terms of all the graduates who need to meet the benchmark scores to say that they're proficient with math. And only 41%, that means a whopping 59%, almost 6 out of 10 Kentucky graduates are not very good at math. They're not hitting the math basics. And so that's not so exciting. When it came to the ACT college entrance exam in reading and English, 50% met the reading benchmark of 20. And so that's it's actually lower than past numbers, but that's okay too. It's better than 41%, but still that means 50% of those who are graduating out of Kentucky schools aren't good enough in English, 60% aren't good enough in math. So how are we supposed to be college ready and career ready if we're not even passing these, simple benchmarks when it comes to English and math? So those are just 3 quick issues or news items for Kentucky. So, Jonathan Masters.